Therefore, we have three forces: market uncertainty, technology uncertainty, and competitive volatility. But this is the environment of marketing of innovative high-tech products in business to business. And normally, and this is a 30 years experience, uncertainty might be methodically reduced by cooperation with scientific technology partners. I think this is the right way to work with universities and also outer universities research institutes. I mentioned at the very beginning that the innovator makes an invention, but the market wants to have an innovation. And the path from invention to innovation is a multi-step path. On the demand side, we have latent demands, wishes. For example, the wish for a new pharmaceutical product, the wish for a high-precision 3D printer, the wish for a better steering wheel, using foam magnesium, for example. And we have latent supply in form of inventions. So this latent demand and latent supply is not visible on the market. It's hidden. But step by step, due to the technological progress and the development of buying power, emergent demand and emergent supply is giving weak signals on the market. And we have a convergence between emergent demand and emergent supply, and finally real demand and real supply meet together and form the market. At the very beginning, this is a micro market. It's not a general market like milk or coal or sugar. It's very specific markets in high technology products. But the real markets, which comes out from this development, are the result of societal and research and development forces. For example, the cell phone, the mobile phone, the cell phone technology changed totally the human behavior in working and in private. And therefore, these research and development forces transform latent supply and latent demand via emerging transition phase into real supply and real demand expressed in monetary terms. This is the very not nice expression, monetary terms, but the market decides on monetary terms. That's the willingness to pay. And if the innovation is not economically feasible, it will not be accepted at this point in time. Therefore, we have the following situation from the management point of view. We are in the phase 0 research, latent invention. Then we found a solution. Maybe the solutions on the lab scale is feasible, but not industrial scale. Then there is a zero or industrial functional prototype, or maybe a pre-commercial product, and then is the market entry. So we have the transition from invention to somewhere, 2 question marks. Maybe to innovation. But this innovation is no man's land. And this expression, invention, innovation, no man's land, I took this from Nokia. And you remember, Nokia was a high flyer 7 years ago. But they understood that the innovation must be done in another way. Therefore, we have research push and we have market pull. And we hope that the market pulls that what the research pushes. But it could be also diverse. There's a big question mark. This question mark results also from the different distance of understanding to understand the customer's voice, to hear to the customer's voice, and to understand what is the willingness of the customer, what is his real demand. This must be explored. And the innovator's ear should be open to the voice of the customer. And therefore, already 12 years ago, or no, 14 years ago, the Blue Train Manifesto was written in the United States with the first sentence, markets are conversations, nothing else. Markets are conversations. If you have something new on the market, you must convince your first customer. And this is done by conversation, by understanding what is the willing of the customer, what is the demand of the customer. And this can be then institutionalized by marketing test beds. What is the management stress? The management stress we have in marketing management of high technology markets and how to bring the product in the market. We have 3 criteria which are partially conflictory. One challenge is, and also one requirement, time to market. Increase your speed to enter in the market. But this is the right strategy. I took this from Chakravarti, 97, and I augmented some information from our publications. Another solution would be, took a leading user, a leading customer, and develop your innovation centered on the interest of the customer. It's a customer-centered solution. This is okay. The so-called launching customer. I'll tell you an example. Frequentis is the market leader of real-time communication, voice communication between the pilot of an aircraft and the tower. And the launching customer for Frequentis, for the first hard real-time flight communication system in civil aircraft was Frankfurt. Now we are market leader with more than 60% market share in the world. But not only in civil aircraft, but also in military aircraft. And this was really developed, and I'm not in the supervisory board, I know this. And this is really nothing else than hearing totally and understanding totally the voice of the customer. And of course, you have also to give a look always, what is the competition doing? What are your competitors? And you want to be more innovative than your best competitor. That you have to increase your innovation half-life. The innovation half-life is an expression of temporal stability of your innovation lead. If you have found a new sensor with a certain resolution capacity, maybe you are the only on the world. I give you now an example from functional material, rubber. Rubber can burn very easily. And the burning of rubber is a big problem. Therefore, in 2016, March 2016, a new industrial standard will enter from the European Union to protect railways from burning rubber. There's only one company worldwide, this is an Austrian company, who has the patent, not only applied for, but he got the patent, it's a company Protego, and they have a non-burnable, non-inflammable rubber. And this will be used for components, metal rubber components in the high-speed railway industry. So that means they have an innovation lead, innovation half-life maybe for 5 years, 10 years. But in many electronic industry, you have innovation half-life maybe of 3 months, 5 months. Therefore, it's very important to look at the competitor. Here we have partially complementary goal relations. Here we have conflicting because having a short time to market means you shouldn't lose time with your customer. This is conflicting. But maybe it's better to focus on your customer and then look for other customers who are similar. So innovation half-life, a temporal stability of innovation lead, compared with the best competitor you know. Therefore, 3 ratios for the management stress can be derived. The first is time to market stress. What is the available time for break-even? Break-even means you want to have a development where at least all your investments are earned back, break-even. The available time for break-even may be 3 years, but the required time for break-even maybe is 5 years. Then you have a relation bigger than 1, or what is bigger than 1 is stress. The solution stress, this is innovation half-life. Competitive induced innovation half-life. The research and development time for the required innovation lead. Usually you have to develop something totally new in order to have the lead against your best known competitor. You need maybe 3 man-years, but you have only 2 man-years available because you don't have the personal staff, the personal resources. And at least you have an economic stress, the profitability stress, the return on sales, the profitability of sales. What is the required ROS from your shareholders? Maybe is 11%, but you can achieve only 6%. That's a big stress. So these relations are controlling the management behavior in high technology markets. By the way, the basic idea I took from the NURI, Nuclear Regulatory Commission in the United States, because they use the stress measurement for the dispatcher center of nuclear power plants. Always available time and required time. The marketing test plan as a tool for market entry of innovative high-tech products. The current research focused on the development of marketing test platform, which facilitates the execution of realistic tests of marketing mix measures. The marketing test bed is totally different from the usability test beds. There are enough usability test beds available, but marketing test beds, there are only 3 today. One is in South Korea, one is in Israel, and one is doing, we are doing, Peter Phil and I, and together with our colleagues from Team Wien, Bratislava. So this is a citation of the Israeli test bed. The Israeli marketing test bed is for cell phones. So what we are doing in this experimental design? First, we know that the McCarthy theory of product, price, place, and promotion are the 4 marketing tools. Of course, I know you are mostly technical engineers, but you will be confronted with market reality, and therefore marketing tools are important. The combination of these tools is called marketing mix model. And of course there are some complementary and some substitutional relations. This is green and red. And the marketing mix model must be shaped according to different market segments. If I want to offer a peril detection robot to the fire guard, it's a totally other market than to offer it to nuclear power plants. In July, when I will be in Japan, we will find nuclear security and safety officers from Fukushima and other nuclear power plants, and we will discuss what are the specific requirements for robotic detection unit for nuclear gas. Fully autonomous mobile robot. And this market segment 1 and 2, they have certain ideas, latent wishes. Remember this innovation invention graph, and this problem-centered interviews. Problem-centered interviews is a method of qualitative market research. You cannot use quantitative market research for innovation, because innovation is new and there is nothing on the market. Therefore, you must go into detail with expert interviews. And this, you get your feedback and you shape your marketing mix models. This is the basic functioning of such a marketing test bed. Now, I show you a short list of selected marketing test bed examples. What we did: 2-dimensional laser scanner for flatness of wafers in electronic industry. Printed foil sensor for man-machine interfaces. Cellular materials. Cellular materials are very important for different problem solutions. Difficult field, a wireless strain gauge. It works, but not so happy. Very good is elastic photovoltaic lithium battery sandwich. This was developed for the military in 2007. Phase change material, I mentioned this. This is also used in this elastic photovoltaic lithium battery sandwich because you need a temperature or a thermal energy source. And this thermal energy source is done by phase change material based on paraffin. Medical care robotics for continuous compliant passive motion based on pneumatic robots, not electric, mechanical, pneumatic robot. This is now blocked by the Ethics Commission in Austria. We need some improvement, and it's not so easy. Then we have a very interesting field, atmospheric plasma on surfaces for functional material. This is nothing new, but what is new is to use atmospheric plasma on wood. This is really new, because there's 3 labs in Europe doing this research. Then this high precision 3D printing. Here you see a specimen of a part of the internal structure of a tibia bone. It's here. And this tibia bone is a good indicator for the FREX software in order to make a forecast of bone fracture. And this should be done by 3D, high precision 3D printing. What is the problem? The problem is that the structure is so complicated, geometrically speaking, then you cannot wash it out. And without not having the ability to wash it out, it will not work. The fire-resistant rubber I mentioned already. This is the peril detection robot. This robot is something like this. You can control it with a joystick, and the weight is 40 kilograms, and has 5 TV cameras, a laser sensor for distance measurement, and all those things. And is ATEX certificated, atmosphere, exposure atmosphere, and the electronics are intrinsically safe. And then we have now in my seminar at the university an AAL robot, ambient assistant living robot, which is a server for handicapped people. And we have this diamond-like carbon material, which is a very important functional material. So these are examples we did in the last years. Let me summarize. I'm still in time, I see. We'll be starting later. Market entry is a critical phase for economic success of innovative high-tech products. The multidisciplinary and cross-functional cooperation with which research institutes are really a fundamental success factor. So my proposal and suggestion is from the University of Technologies elsewhere, to look more precisely on the market and to make a mutual understanding what are the latent wishes of the future markets. And marketing test beds will systematically support successful market entry of innovative high-tech products and services. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm ready for questions, answers, and ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hasenauer. So now we open. The discussion is open. You can ask questions if you have. Please.
Could you please give more details on this community-based innovation? Because I wasn't quite sure what it really was.
Yeah. We have give an example. We have now in Austria, together also with colleagues of Slovakia, a so-called Smart Innovation Lab. A Smart Innovation Lab is nothing else than to define a community for phase change material building. Architects, building industry, gypsum plasterboard industry, workers who make the installment and all this, the doing, financing industries, banking and so on, and also the proprietor of the houses. This is a selected community, and they are open to learn an innovation, for example, this phase change material, and to make proposals. What are the requirements for practically doing and working with this material? What is the acceptable price? What are different business models? For example, if you have such a plasterboard, the price is much higher than a normal board. And if you buy this, it is important, is this specific phase change material separable? Because if you change the building or you make a renovation, you want to give it away and save it and use it for the next time, because this phase change material doesn't consume itself, it doesn't deteriorate. It's nothing else than warming and cooling of wax, paraffin. So the community, each member of the community along the supply chain has specific ideas and specific demands, and this is brought in a multilateral discussion. And these arguments are discussed, understood, and hopefully the arguments are then used to shape the innovation in order to avoid that the innovation is not really compliant to all the conditions on the market. So I think community-based innovation is nothing else than to improve the compliance between the technical solution, and that's what the market wants. And this can be done in business to consumer as well as in business to business markets. For example, we do this in robotics. This can be done, for example, all the pharmaceutical development is something similar, but it's not in this way, because you have always this clinical testing with different groups of patients and so on. There's this very strict regime, but in many other products in software development, community-based innovation can be used, and it depends also what is the intellectual property right situation. Because if you have the chance to make IPRs, then it's easier. But because if you invest a lot in innovation, you cannot protect it. This is the main critical point of community-based innovation. Then maybe the innovation gets lost or is stolen. Could also be a risk. But normally, community-based innovation speeds up the entering the market and opens more fantasy which types of variants of the innovation can be sold in which market segments.
Okay, I see. So there are some relevant stakeholders,
yep,
here, which opinion of which is important for those who are developing the innovation.
Yep.
And these relationships to these stakeholders are more formal, or they are just informal?
At the very beginning, informal,
yes,
but may convert to be formal. There's an example in the big Henkel Industrial Group. There's an example where a very informal beginning resulted that 2 members of this informal community became a product manager for this innovation.
So it may change.
Yeah, it may change. Yeah, it's an evolutionary concept.
And basically, also, through the formalization, there is a more important issue of intellectual property.
This is correct. Yeah,
yeah, because this issue should be absolutely clear for all parties concerned.
This is correct.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when I first came into touch with this community-based innovation, it was more. All the companies said, well, we do not want to open our company. And then, if you go in details and ask, what is really the risk? What is your fear? Then it turned out that it was not fear. It was also a lack of, to be curious what others are doing, or what your customers are thinking.
I think that such companies like SAP, they try something like this in their...
Yeah, this is correct. Yeah.
In their,
for the smaller
development communities,
yep,
software development communities, or
user
communities.
Yep, user
communities. Receive quite a lot of ideas,
yep,
or even some
yep,
partial developments, which they may integrate or project in their products.
Yep.
And depending on the quality, yep, of all these, they may make a decision, okay, we shall pay you for this, yep, or you are going to be a co-author, or we give you any other distinction, yep, for your contribution to the innovation.
Yep, correct. This CPI, community-based innovation, is only a specific instance of open innovation, and it's not really new. But for many industry branches, it's new. For example, this rubber, not vulnerable rubber, it's new for them. All these chemical industries which rely on specific recipes and know-how and so on, it's very difficult, and they have to protect their IPR. And therefore, is community-based innovation not so easy to realize.
We are scientists. We develop. We are working for a long time developing a specific tool or specific problem. We are solving. We have been solving for a long time this problem. but we don't care about the market. And sometimes we are happy if we have found something which we can then apply for patent. But you told me that sometimes it's not reasonable to apply for a patent. It's better to think far away, to think the second step of the innovation. And could you explain this idea?
Yeah. That's a very good question. Thank you. A colleague of mine and I, we did an empirical study on innovation half-life and how you can persist your innovation lead and what is the risk that your innovation lead is lost. And one possible protection is IPR. You apply for a patent and so on. But first, each patent can be, of course, at least corroborated by other patents. And the second is a patent, still you have a patent that's still far, far away from the market. I'll tell you an example in the vanadium redox technology, which is an electrochemical knowledge and technology for storing electrical energy, but with a low energy density, only 18 watt-hours per cubic decimeter. But very, very safe and very, very interesting technology. Now coming on the market after 25 years. So from the patent 25 years ago, from Ms. Kazakos in Australia up to now, it took 25 years. There's also Sumitomo, a Japanese company, has a lot of patents, but the patents didn't protect all the innovation. It protects only very specific features of the graphite plate, some curvature of a tube and so on. Because the basic innovation, you can protect it, but the basic innovation can be circumvented by different other patents. So it is not really helpful, and it takes too long time. Tell you another example. There's one that was a big patent subject in the time tracker technology. That is a special protocol which is also in a chip, so in silicon. And there it was wise to make a patent. But then it's the same with the rubber. Then you have the following problem: having a patent, having a protected innovation. But then you have the risk that the industry has only one supplier who has the patent. And single sourcing is not accepted in the automotive industry, for example. Single sourcing is not accepted in the big industry for railway. Therefore, if you have the patent, you must license it. You can license it, but to have a really strong control of licensing in rubber industry is very difficult, because you have to control the machines. So you have to know what is the quantitative, the weight or the mass of rubber which is produced with your license. So I think there's a lot of fantasy with IPR, but the economic gain is not so high normally. There are a few patents which are really good, but it's not only the patent alone. The patent alone is not the guarantee for a rich economic development. That's 40 years experience. 40 years in the high-tech industry.
But maybe the patent helps at least to block the competitors.
Yes,
or something.
partially. There's a special field, plasma-assisted physical vapor deposition for coating. And there's an Austrian company. They developed a machine, really highly efficient machine, and they avoided to make patents, because if they would make patents, they would attract the attention of the competitors to the patent. And then it's clear how to do this. But what they do, they have a self-destructing mechanism inside for the critical electronics. If you open this, you destroy it. And that is the best protection from my point of view.